9 o'clock in the top stories that we are following at this hour. It's been 3 days now since little Giuliani Cardenas was taken from his grandmother's arms in Patterson. We are live in Patterson as his mom is speaking about the ordeal, and they are searching a canal for the suspected kidnapper's car. Investigators looking into a pair of sexual incidents involving second graders at an Oakland elementary school. I'll have a live report on that. And we are following live in Arizona as Congresswoman Gabby Giffords is being transferred from Arizona to a rehab facility in Texas to continue her recovery from being shot in the head. Also, keeping an eye on the weather on this Friday morning as we're looking at sunny skies around the bay, but a little bit of wind here as you can see the camera shaking high above Mount Tam. Good morning, James. All right, thanks a lot, George. 9:02 is the time right now, so let's get to the latest developments as the search continues for this 4-year-old Patterson boy, Giuliani Cardenas. He's been missing since Tuesday. That's when his grandma says that the ex-boyfriend of his mom, Jose Esteban Rodriguez, forcefully took Giuliani from her arms and then drove off. KRON4's Will Tran is live out in Patterson. And Will, we were just listening to the mother, and I know you're going to speak to her again right now.
That's right. I'm in front of the home, and you can see the candles behind me in the driveway, still holding out hope that little Giuliani returns safe and sound. We did speak to the mother during a news conference, but she's kind enough to continue to be here for us. She wants her word out, Darya, to talk to Jose, talk to the public, anything that she can possibly do to bring her little boy home. And joining me now is Tabitha Cardenas, the mother of 4-year-old Giuliani. Tabitha, was there anything that led you to believe that this was going to happen?
No, there was nothing that I noticed before, but now after the fact, you know, things are popping up, and I'm noticed, and you know, these were all signs.
He didn't say to you, I'm going to take your child if you don't do this, or he was mad at you after an argument or something?
No, he didn't.
So it was calm before all of this?
It was calm. So he was like thinking of what he was going to do.
Why are you so certain that he will not harm your boy?
Because he loves him. He really does. I mean, Jose, he's got a good heart. He just does bad things, you know?
You've known him, you've been together, you were together for 4 years, right? Pretty much the lifespan of Giuliani?
Yeah.
He believes that Giuliani is his son?
Yeah, he does. He really does.
Why do you feel that he feels that way? I mean, that's not his biological child.
Because the love for him is just like, it's strong, and then his mental...
You've never seen him yell at...
Yeah.
You never...
Yeah, I've seen him yell at him before, and I've seen him spank him. But, I mean, he's never hurt him.
Is he capable of hurting himself?
Maybe. Maybe.
Do you believe he's still in Patterson around here, that somebody knows where he is?
I believe he could be in San Joaquin County, maybe Stanislaus County still, maybe Merced County. You know, those are the surrounding counties. So I believe he's around here somewhere.
If Jose is somewhere and he's watching television right now, what would you like, look in the camera right here, what would you like to tell him?
Jose, if you're watching this, you need to make sure that my son's eating. You need to make sure that he's drinking his fluids. And you need to take him to a safety spot, you know, drop him off at a hospital. Drop him off somewhere, anywhere, so somebody can go get him, you know? So Giuliani needs to come home. He doesn't need to be with you. He's not even your son, Jose. You need to get a grip on reality. You know, take off, leave Giuliani somewhere, and you take off. I don't care where you go. Just give me my son back.
And you're saying your mother, is she still gripped with just a lot of regret over what happened?
Yeah, she feels guilty. She's the one, because she was here when my son was taken. And, you know, she feels guilty because she didn't call me when Jose showed up in the morning after I left to work. She didn't call the police, you know?
You broke up with him earlier that day, right? Maybe that set him off?
No, I didn't break up with him. I told him, because he came by my house, and then I told him, I said, you know, you got some nerve coming over here. You know, this is the last text message you're ever going to hear from me. You know, and because I wasn't going to have any more contact with him.
And maybe he read that, or you're not sure if he even read that because he didn't have his cell phone?
I don't think he read it because I think he lost his cell phone before all this happened. Yeah, because he didn't text me back, and usually he would. Or maybe because his frame of mind was already out of whack.
Hey,
maybe that's why he didn't.
Yeah, go ahead, Darya.
Now that she just said, his frame of mind, I'm just wondering, knowing that he had lost his job and he was desperate, she said that he was an alcoholic, is she kind of discounting the whole idea that he somehow immediately harmed himself with the boy in that car and maybe that they're in that canal? Is that something she's just not letting herself think of?
Now, you know that they're searching in the canal about 4 or 5 miles from this location. Has it crossed your mind that he could possibly be in that silver Corolla with your little boy right now, that he was out of his mind, that for that very moment, maybe he drove himself and your child into the canal? Have you let yourself even think about that?
No, not at all.
Why?
Because he would probably hurt himself, but he wouldn't hurt my son. Yeah.
Because you said he feels like he's the father.
Right.
And then speaking of father, Darya, look at this. She is 8 months pregnant, and they are expecting, Jose and her are expecting their child, his first child, in March. So she's wondering why he would even do this, because together they will have a family in a couple of months. So a lot of questions still need to be answered. And we talked about the search, and they're at the canal right now, Darya. And if they don't find anything at that place, they will call off the search at the canal. But in the meantime, you just heard Tabitha try to reach out to Jose, wherever he may be at this time, bring him home, drop him off wherever, at a gas station, at a police station, fire station, anything. You really obviously want her son back home. More on this story throughout the morning. Let's send it back to you, Darya.
All right, thanks a lot, Will. We'll continue to follow the latest. We've got the Amber Alert that's still out there with the car that they're looking for, that 2003 silver Toyota Corolla. You see what it looks like here, and this is the license plate number. If you're out and about, it's 6HBW445. This is, unfortunately, as well, what was described to be the car that someone saw go into that canal, which is why they're searching the canal at this hour. We'll be back with more in a couple of minutes. Welcome back. The time now is 9:11, and you can see our live shots here coming to us from Tucson, Arizona, where on the right-hand side you can see this ambulance that has got inside Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, who was shot in the head almost 2 weeks ago now at a rally in Tucson, and she's being transferred. She's being taken from a Tucson hospital in that ambulance to, on the left-hand side there, you have a live shot there of Davis-Monthan Air Base in Tucson, and they are going to put her on that airplane and head her over to a Houston, Texas rehab facility so that she will continue her recovery. Doctors are impressed by what she has been able to do so far with the injury to her brain. They say that she would never, anyone with those injuries wouldn't recover to 100%, but they do believe that she can reach a new normal and recover somewhat from the extensive injuries and brain damage that was done by that bullet that hit her straight in the head at point blank range in the parking lot of a Safeway in Tucson at a rally that she was holding just barely 2 weeks ago. So the procession on the right, this ambulance making its way through the streets. Interesting that we've been seeing at times, you don't see them here, but people just lining the streets and to watch the ambulance go by, obviously wanting to, give their well wishes to, Larry, see some people in the corner there, just wanting to watch, quietly as this ambulance passes by. Look, there's someone waving on the side to show their support for this congresswoman who, fairly young woman who's undergone such a horrible ordeal and is being transferred now to continue her recovery. All right, 9:13 is the time right now. We'll be back with more developing news in just a couple of minutes. 9:16 right now, a developing story that we're following out of Oakland, where investigators are looking into a pair of sexual incidents involving second graders at Markham Elementary School. KRON4's Craig Sklar has been live all morning out at the school to talk to parents about what happened and tell us more about these two incidents. Craig?
For one thing, parents aren't happy about it. Some of them didn't know until they got to school. Some got a letter apologizing for what had happened. Apparently, a week ago, school officials say in the second grade class, a couple of students apparently involved in sexual activity, exploring, whatever you want to call it, involving oral sex. And then another situation where kids were running around without their clothes on. Now, the teacher is on administrative leave, and there are a lot of questions unanswered about how he could not have seen this. He says to the administrators that he never saw what happened. And apparently when a student finally came to a principal and told them what happened, that was the first the administration had heard of it. One grandmother of one of these children tells me that she was shocked when she found out.
Well, how do you know all this? She goes, Mom, because it happened in my classroom, and she gave me the names of all the students. And then she went to the office to report it, and then that's cool. Why didn't the school call me and to let me know that they had her in the office talking to her? And I felt that they went behind my back. They should have called me and notified me. It shouldn't have been allowed to happen in his classroom. I figured he should be fired. He should be there. I mean, it's just. I'm very upset right now about this situation.
The teacher is very the parents and that grandmother are very unhappy at what was happened, but the teacher is on administrative leave. They tell me at the school district that he's not been suspended, but the question over and over again from parents is, how could this happen? How could they not have seen it? How could the principal only find out? Hearing from some student who finally walked up to the principal and said, this happened in the classroom. So that investigation will continue. Police are looking into this as well, but the district office tells me that for the time being, the school is handling this. A lot of unanswered questions, and a lot of unhappy parents here at Markham Elementary School. Back to you.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks a lot, Craig. Hey, thanks a lot, George. 9:22 right now. Corrections officials at San Quentin State Prison have delayed awarding a contract to build a new death row complex. A total of 9 bids were submitted back in November, and the lowest bid came in at $126 million. Prison officials say they need the extra time to brief the new administration on the project, which is expected to cost about $356 million. An investigation is underway in Santa Ana this morning after threatening graffiti was found targeting Governor Jerry Brown. Officers say that a vandal spray painted in red the message 27 more days for Brown, and it included a swastika. CHP is taking the lead in that investigation. A federal judge will hear arguments today about what evidence a jury is going to get to hear about Barry Bonds. Bonds' perjury trial is set to start on March 21st. Today's hearing will determine what can be shown as evidence as it relates to Bonds' personal trainer Greg Anderson, what the jury will be able to see, because Anderson has told the judge and continued to refuse to testify against Bonds. And because of that refusal, the judge has already excluded urine tests and calendars reportedly showing that Bonds used steroids. Bonds' lawyers are also seeking the exclusion of even more evidence and witnesses who are connected to Anderson. 9:24 right now. We'll be back with more in just a couple of minutes.